The events in this program are inspired by a true story. Names, dates, and events have been changed. Viewer discretion is advised. On this episode of Bizarre Murders, Martha has been married to Ron for over a decade.
Look what I got.
They've had their share of rocky patches.
All you talk about is money and you shut up!
But also happy times together. Martha, the nurse, has just finished a long 12-hour shift. It was a slow day. She only saved 3 people's lives. But now, at the end of her day, Martha doesn't realize that her own life is in the gravest danger. For close to 10 years, Martha has been a well-liked and respected nurse at St. Michael's Hospital. The one thing that's missing in her life is love. Someone to complete her. The yin to her yang. Martha, then 33, takes out a personal ad in the hopes of finding Mr. Right.
Fun, loving, looking for a man to share my life with. Been around the block a few times, but I have plenty more miles ahead.
Yeah, me too, Martha.
Ron, a war veteran who works as a building super, answers.
Call.
Hi, is this Martha?
It is?
I saw your ad in
The, lustful love letters.
I'm sorry, it's the first time I've ever done anything on this site.
It's my first time too. What's your name?
This is Ron.
I didn't know what to say or what.
Ron is divorced with 1 child, but Martha is smitten, describing the match as an oldie but a goodie.
I spent 25 years in the FBI, and I learned that finding love through a personal ad can be pretty risky. I remember one case where the person who answered the ad was actually a serial killer wanted for 6 murders, and he ate his victims. Like the worst kind of dinner date, really. Luckily, the local authorities got to him before he made it 7.
After a month-long courtship over the phone, Martha and Ron finally meet in person. 6 months later, they're hitched. Their marriage is a match made in heaven. Ron is the love of Martha's life. The happy couple spent all their days together and nights. But over time, Ron retreats from Martha, preferring to spend his time alone with his collection of sports memorabilia. Ron becomes obsessed with money and the value of his collection. Martha's concerned. This is not the man she married, and a far cry from Martha's own upbeat personality. After 7 years, the marriage develops an itch that needs scratching.
Ron's withdrawal from Martha and the world, as well as his growing obsession with his sports collection, were red flags. And it seems like we've got an inner demon situation going on here.
Ron's fixation with money becomes obsessive.
Look what I got.
This is the one I've wanted for a long time.
He resents that his wife brings in more money than he does. And Ron becomes paranoid of losing all his belongings.
Ron, Ron, dinner's gonna be ready around 6:30. Green beans.
Hands off. It's mine. It's a lot more expensive than this costume jewelry, I'll tell you that.
It's a ball, Ron.
This is the most expensive ball you'll ever have in your hands.
It's a ball.
You just don't get it.
I don't know. I don't know what to do. He spends all of his time in the basement, down there with his sports stuff. He's always angry.
Well, when he's angry, what do you mean? Like, is he verbally abusive or?
Yeah?
Martha confides to her close friend Barbara that Ron is chronically angry and always blaming everyone but himself for his problems.
But I do get scared.
She thinks it could have something to do with his time in the
I
military.
don't know what to do.
It's not uncommon for war veterans, and I've known some, to suffer from depression and anxiety. These days, we have a name for it, PTSD, and it's an ugly thing.
Could Ron's wartime trauma be finally catching up with him? Although he doesn't like to discuss the war, he tells Martha that he saw serious combat when he was in country with special ops.
Serious combat with special ops? Oh, no. The official record states that Ron spent the war tied to a desk. I'd say someone is feeling a little inadequate because he didn't see any action at all.
Things start to look up for Ron when he lands his dream job as manager of Adult Zone, a chain of porno stores in Spokane.
Believe it or not, Ron himself has no interest in porn. He's just reading the articles. Actually, what he's really interested in is the money. He isn't getting rich, but it's a well-paid gig with benefits and stability, and he doesn't have to answer to anybody. He's the boss, at least when it came to cleaning up. And that's what Ron really wanted to do, clean up.
Over the following 10 months, as his paranoia and rage continued to grow, his new career at the porno store brings Ron into contact with some nasty characters.
Hey, man.
Hey,
It's closed. We're closed.
I'm Jerry. I'm here for the job.
Jerry, I've been expecting you.
Thanks, man.
Name's Ron.
One of his employees, Jerry, is a real sleazy dude with a rap sheet a mile long. Jerry also has a mean and expensive appetite for hard drugs. Cocaine, speed, crack, you name it. And he's always broke.
Ron doesn't have a criminal record or anything, but he and Jerry become fast friends. Both are ex-military. Both resent the world and see themselves as victims, though. Ron and Jerry bond over shared grievances, both real and imagined.
The new job only fuels Ron's obsession with money. He lies to Martha about the amounts he's making and stockpiles thousands in the den without her knowledge.
In Ron's collapsing psyche, he's the victim. That's not uncommon. Everybody's out to get him. He's got to defend himself. He's got to prepare for the worst. He's got to prepare for Armageddon.
My honey went into the basement and now he's non-existent. All you talk about is money, Ron. All you talk about is money and you shut up.
Shut up.
Martha's a compassionate person and can take a lot. She's a nurse, after all. But she's starting to worry about her safety.
In the basement trying to secure our future. I don't ever want to come home to this.
Get out, Ron. I can't do it anymore. I want you to leave.
I'll leave.
So at 59 years old, Mr. Porn Shop is forced to move back home with his father. Sure, you can call it a dream life, but things aren't looking up for old Ron.
And then, things go from bad to worse for Ron. Without warning or explanation, he loses his job at Adult Zone. What do you have to do to get fired from a porno store?
Can you come over? I just think we need to talk.
Then Ron finally catches a break. Like an eager puppy begging for a scrap of food, Ron is hopeful that Martha has seen the error of her ways, realized she can't live without him, and wants to patch things back up.
Hi. It's your favorite.
Really? You thought a flower was gonna make up for how you've treated me?
Yeah?
But then Martha drops the bomb.
It's over, Ron. I want a divorce.
A divorce means that Ron will lose half of the house, his share of Martha's pension and benefits, and all the cash he's stashed away in the den.
Ron's not the kind of guy to go down without a fight. He isn't about to sit back and lose half of the house, all of Martha's money, money that, as far as he's concerned, is owed to him. No way, not a chance. He wants revenge.
Lucky for Ron, he knows just the kind of guy who can help him solve his problem.
No, I want her out of the picture. Permanently.
Jerry is desperate for cash to fuel his out-of-control drug addiction and clear his debts. It doesn't take him long to decide.
I'll give you half now and half later when the job's done.
Deal.
Deal. And don't use the knife.
No knife.
We gotta be creative about this, Jerry.
Acting like they actually know what they're doing, Ron and Jerry weigh the pros and cons of which weapon to use.
How about the drill?
And what, stage a home repair accident?
All right, no drill.
No drill.
Strangle. Yeah, that's the ticket.
Jerry, that's the time my mom gave me.
How about a gun?
Guns are loud, the neighbors are gonna hear, and the hammer. Huh?
A handgun is the better weapon to use for a guaranteed kill, because a hammer can be a messy affair, and messy equals evidence. But a handgun makes an incredibly loud sound unless you have a silencer, and these idiots don't. And 2/3 of all murders in the US are done with a gun. One thing's for sure, though, if you're debating this topic, you're either the police or a cold-blooded maniac.
All the way back, all the way.
After much deliberation, Jerry decides to use a hammer. A silent blow or two to Martha's head should do the trick. To throw off the police, they decide to make it look like a burglary gone sideways. They'll move around some of Ron's sports memorabilia as though that's what the thieves were after. Pure genius.
Flip it. What are you doing?
It's just a ball.
You're just like her.
If the idea is to make the crime look like a robbery for a sports collection, unless you're O.J. Simpson, this is going to be a bit of a stretch.
As soon as you open the door, with the key, triggers the alarm. You have 30 seconds to put the code in. 4, 5, 6, number sign. What is it?
4, 5,
Oh, Jesus, Jerry, what comes after 5?
6.
Look, write it down, okay?
Okay.
4, 5, 6,
4,
numbers.
5.
And then it's probably not a great idea for the robber to have a house key and know how to deactivate the alarm. I mean, how would the perp be able to do that? There doesn't seem to be any logic here at all. Maybe that's just my 25 years in the FBI talking. I don't know.
Martha gets a surprise call at work from Ron.
Hey, it's me.
I just want to let you know I'm going to get away for a few days, okay? I'm stressed out. I just need to clear my head.
Okay. Where are you gonna go?
Just up north somewhere. Just at a motel. I just wanted to let you know.
Okay, look, I got to go.
Okay, Ron. What do we have to do?
Ron thinks he's clever, which is wonderful for law enforcement. He calls his soon-to-be ex-wife to establish an alibi. Now he waits in a cheap motel for his degenerate friend Jerry to bludgeon Martha to death with a hammer. Nice couple of guys.
After a 12-hour shift, a hammer to the head should be a death blow. But Martha is one tough cookie.
Did we mention that as a nurse, Martha has self-defense training? Well, she does, and she's got plenty of experience using it. Fearing she's about to die, Martha shows serious smarts and instinct by biting her attacker. Her teeth marks could be used as identification.
Martha isn't about to let her attacker get the best of her. She'll fight to the bitter end if that's what it takes.
Who are you? Who are you? I'm your killer! Who sent you?
The epic fight lasts almost 30 minutes. It's a brutal battle to the death.
Jerry obviously didn't think that little old Martha would be a match for him. He was wrong, dead wrong. She was much more than a match for him.
Martha has turned the tables on the attacker. And killed him with her bare hands. Battered and bloodied, Martha runs to her neighbor and calls the police.
The stress for a paranoiac like Ron is immense. I mean, what could be taking Jerry so long? He should have called hours ago. Ron is most definitely losing his mind at this point, at least what mind he has left.
Detective Maxwell is the investigator assigned to the case. Thanks to Jerry's total lack of intelligence, investigators easily identify him at the scene. That's so Jerry.
After 25 years in the FBI, let me give you a pro tip. Don't bring your wallet to the scene of the crime.
Investigators then discover a note in Martha's house left by Ron.
The note is obviously meant to bolster his alibi, but the investigators were made simply more suspicious. In a case like this, where there's an estranged spouse, they're an automatic suspect. In fact, statistically, almost half of all women who are murdered in America are killed by people they know, usually a current or former boyfriend or spouse.
At approximately 1 p.m., the day after the attack, Martha's friend Barbara gets a call from Ron.
Hello?
Hi, Barbara. It's Ron.
I just saw Martha's house on the news. Is everything okay?
You haven't heard? She's attacked.
Oh my gosh. Is she all right?
She's roughed up, but she's okay. Yeah, she's gonna pull through.
Did they know who attacked her? What happened to him?
He's dead.
Oh my God.
Once Ron gets over the shock and awe that Martha survived the attack, he's desperate to track her down. He calls the hospital, but the investigators tell Martha and the staff to conceal her whereabouts and give Ron nothing.
Jerry, you idiot! Jerry!
Four days after the attack, Martha, having recovered remarkably quickly from the injuries inflicted upon her by her attacker Jerry, is released from the hospital.
So we're not making this up. It turns out that in Jerry's backpack was an envelope with a couple of bucks. And oh yeah, he also left a daybook entry with "Call Ron" on it. It's the crucial clue in the case. It connects Jerry directly to Ron. You remember what I said about bringing personal belongings to the crime scene? Honestly, I don't think Jerry could have been any more stupid if he'd tried.
Now the investigators need to locate Ron as soon as possible. They track down his son, Mike, who tells them he's actually been in touch with his father. He then mentioned that he's worried because the last time they were together, Mike discovered a revolver hidden in his father's drawer.
The investigators are up against the clock. Ron is desperate, and he's volatile, and he's paranoid. These are very bad things that, in my experience, make him more than a suspect. He's a high-risk suspect. The investigators convince Ron's son, Mike, to call his father to coax him back to Spokane without revealing that he's wanted for questioning.
Once Ron returns to town, the police take him into custody and question him about his alibi.
What I meant to say is Thursday evening. It was Wednesday. I was there for lunch during the...
Okay, here's Criminal 101. If you're going to create an alibi, you gotta stick with the one version of what happened. Ron just can't keep his story straight, and it becomes obvious that he's making it up as he's going along. He's lying through his teeth.
Ron repeatedly gets his timeline mixed up, confusing Tuesday for Wednesday, Wednesday for Friday. The discrepancies in his story pose enough grounds for the investigators to arrest him. Ron is charged with attempted murder and conspiracy. Hoping for a lighter sentence, he pleads guilty and avoids a trial. The court gives him 15 years.
Martha's actions are considered justifiable as self-defense, duh, and she isn't charged with killing Jerry.
With Ron behind bars, Martha officially divorces him. She now goes by Martha Smith.
The moral of this story is, don't mess with nurses. They're good people who want to help you. But if you want to kill them, you better be tougher than you think they are, because they'll kick your sorry ass. Oh, and one other thing. If you plan on being a low-life criminal, don't bring your ID to the crime scene, okay? Ever. Not once. Never a good idea.